Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. I'm here in the beautiful Frederick, Colorado. Today we're going to be going over one of our smallest Class Bs that we offer. It's going to be a Winnebago Solis Pocket 36A. So this one brings you in at that nice length of 17 foot and 10 inches. So you'll get the most accessibility out of any of the Class Bs that we have to offer. Really good for state and national parks or any of that off-grid style camping that you want to do, where any of the larger B vans, the Cs, none of them can get to. So they have it in the beautiful gray color outside. You got the aluminum wheels right here, and then the running boards with the little pet leashes on the exterior. There's not a whole lot to these, so this one should be a relatively quick video, but it does pack a punch for as small as a van as it is. Most of your windows in this will be opening, so we can open them. We'll open them from the inside. Rear windows on both sides of the bed back here. We'll just keep working our way around it. When you get back here, this is kind of the majority of everything. You have the two big back doors that open. You have the 3,500 pound receiver hitch back here, along with the 7-way and a 4-pin connector. You also have the little dump station underneath for your gray tank. While you're back here, you do have a camera. So you have the rear view monitor camera as well as the backup camera that looks a lot closer to the ground. So since this one's going to be a little bit of a tight fit, we're going to go over the back half of this motorhome while we're back here, and then once we work our way the rest of the way around, we'll go to the front half on the inside. So in the back half of this one, we'll start with, before we hop in, you have these two metal bars that'll come across and connect in the middle, and then there's the black fabric here. So this will act as your shower curtain for when you're outside and rinsing off. You do have screens on both sides to close off this and get all of the fresh air while you're in here. On the right side, you're going to have extra solar input, 12 volt as well as USB, and then a 110. Water pump switch back here, fresh water valve, fresh tank drain, and a spray port. So Winnebago actually sends you with the hose connection for the spray port, and this is what you'll utilize to take advantage of that outside shower. You have a city water connection here, and then another fresh water drain there. And then behind this little flap, you have some of your dump valves, as well as access to the little water pump and the little water filter that's attached to the pump. On your windows throughout this, you'll have these blackout shades. So when you have them closed, it can act as an additional vapor barrier, but it's also really good for blocking out the light on these. So we'll step in here. Jody's gonna have to hang out there since this one's so tight. Back here, you'll have the L tracks mounted into the floor, and then you do have the composite flooring, so it's super easy to clean. You can rinse it off, sweep it out. You don't really have to worry about damaging it or getting it dirty like you can with a lot of the fabrics that are in your B vans. As far as your storage on the lower half, you can go in it from the side or from the rear right here, as well as the little cargo nets. Here's some tools that Ram sends you for if you need to change a spare out. This side, you're gonna have your 20-pound propane tank back here. It is strapped in, and it does seal off from the interior of the coach with the bulb seals on that, but it is still ventilated outside like propane's required to be. On the right side, you'll have another compartment with a bungee. Again, you can access it from the back or from the sides. When you get towards the middle, you have another cubby. This is where we just threw the power cord for now, but it is a nice deeper compartment, so you have a good amount of storage space back here. And then this last one will be your largest rear storage compartment. So it goes all the way back to the sidewall, as well as being a decent width and height to cram all the rest of your stuff in. So this one comes standard with 2 deep cycle AGM batteries on it. You do have a smart converter here. So converters will act as your breaker box as well as your fuse box. With it being a smart one, the newer generation of them, You can put lithium batteries in this instead of those AGMs if you want the deeper charge and more battery capacity. And the converter can auto detect it, and there's not a switch that you have to flip anymore, or you don't have to upgrade your converter. It's already ready for it. So, little gate back here to separate the two areas if you want to have stuff back here. It also doubles as a molly panel, and then they give you a little Solis pouch where you can put some tools and stuff in. On the right side over here, you'll have your fresh tank fill if you need to use it for gravity fill. You'll have the light to see your fresh water level. This does have a 20-gallon fresh tank as well as a 20-gallon gray tank. For your black tank, they have a little porta potty that I'll show you once we get to the front half of this coach. You do have 110 outlet here, and again, more 12 volt and then more USB, and then this is going to be your temperature sensor for your heater in this. So it utilizes the Truma Vario heat. There we go. Now while we're up here, I'm going to demo the bed because this is going to be one of the easiest ways for us to do this. So with the bed, you'll flip the cushions down, get them up out of the way, and get it to where it's nice and flat, and then you fill in the gap with that one up there. More little cubbies. You have a light on both sides. This one does come with the rooftop AC, so it is a 13,500 BTU AC, so it's more than enough AC to cool this, because they'll actually use this in some of your 20, 25 foot travel trailers and stuff. So more than enough cooling. Now you do need to be plugged into shore power to use that, because this coach doesn't have an inverter on it. You have two big storage compartments up here. They are mounted into the van, and then they do have the bracing just so you don't get any bowing when you put some larger items in there. And as always, Winnebago sends you with the bag of owner's manuals. So from here you can see both of the windows on both sides of the bed, and they are opening windows with screens as well as having the blackout shades on them. So if you're out doing dry camping or any kind of boondocking, you could still get a good amount of ventilation inside of this coach. So since it does open on both sides. So let's flip that up and make space for getting back in here. Alrighty, so that'll be the back half of this coach, and once we work our way around, we'll go and cover the front half of it. Alright. So this little compartment is an exterior way to turn on your propane valve, so you can either do it from outside the coach or you can open that rear compartment and get to the top of the tanks. Down below it, you're gonna have the dump station for the gray tank that's equipped on this. You'll have your 30 amp plug. This one will be the exhaust for the Truma Vario. So that's just your heat. Another opening window above the dinette in here. And we'll open up the cab door so you can get a little glimpse inside of there. So what's cool about this, a lot of your controls are in here. It does have the folding mirrors, so if you want to get into a tighter spot, as well as the mirrors are electric. So the ProMaster Chassis is one of the few vans that will let you, the bottom portions of the mirror will also be electric. So you can adjust those from the comfort of your seat instead of having to reach over, have your passenger reach over to change the positioning on the mirror. You do have a battery boost on it. It's becoming more integral in a lot of the newer vans, just to make sure none of the systems are dead, or if you do kill one of them, you can link them to get it back up and going. And your fuel tank, how do you pop that? I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea. Okay, fuel tank's gonna be over there, and you have it locked so it doesn't open when your door is closed. So last thing that we'll cover on the outside is going to be the engine, and then you can see a little bit of the cameras up top built into the windshield. So this is going to be a 3.6 liter Pentastar motor. It's going to provide 280 horsepower, and it will be front wheel drive. So you'll have a little bit more comfort than a lot of the rear wheel drive C's that are out there these days. You still have access to all of your fluids, brake fluid, coolant, oil, and your windshield washer fluid all up here. So while we're still up here, at the top of the windshield in the center, you can see the 2 camera systems that are up there. So this does have adaptive cruise control and active lane assist, so it'll just give you a little bit more comfort and peace of mind while you're driving, especially with the Colorado drivers these days. Okay. So from the exterior of this, you do have a little table. You can adjust it depending on how your van's sitting with the little L track. You unlock it, move it up and down, and that way you can have a level prep surface out here. As you step inside the door, you will have a 12-volt compressor driven fridge. So you have that, and then a little freezer section up above. And right above that, again, more USBs, more 12 volt. You have 110 power. Your battery disconnect for just turning everything on and off is located right next to the door. And your light switches are also located right here. The kitchen area, you're going to have 2 burner gas cooktop as well as a sink in here. So they do give you the cover for it, so you can have a little bit more prep space, but if you're gonna do anything a little more aggressive, chopping or anything like that, put a cutting board over it to protect the glass. You'll have a few drawers below the sink. And the bottom one's a nice deep one. On this right side is where it gets a little bit more interesting. So this doubles as a little lounge. There's seat belts and a 3-point harness integrated into this, so you can safely put another person back here. You have storage on both sides of it, another little tiny molly, and then cup holder is built into it, as well as another opening window. Up above, you'll have 2 more large compartments. And then you'll also have more power and a roof access port. So if you ever wanted to mount the Starlink, digital antenna, or anything like that up there, you can. So this little section, so it doubles as the lounge, and then it also creates a booth dinette. So up here for us, you do have a couple little prop rods to convert it into the dinette. So that centerpiece will actually convert into a backrest. And then let me slide this seat forward a little, just so it's a little easier to get to. And then you take the centerpiece and slide those 2 set screws into the back of it, and then put the cushion back there. So then you can just have an open booth area. There's one more leg that you can put in there and convert it into the actual dinette table part. So then you put the arm in there. It has the little bike latch set up. And then the tabletop. So you can adjust the height of this depending on if they're children, for adults, or anything like that. And you can set it where you need to go right there. So obviously we need to tighten up the bike rack a little bit more. So there you go. Let's see, up above, so since you need the 110 to actually power the AC and have power to your outlets, they do provide you with a max air fan. So the max air fan will act like an attic fan. Since you have a lot of opening windows in here and bug screens throughout, you can have a very good airflow even without having to use your air conditioning, so it can stay cool. A lot of the places that you'll go, especially in Colorado, are up in the mountains, so it's really not that hot anyway when you're up there, and opening windows will help out. The last thing that we'll cover up here before we get to the dash is going to be a nice deep storage spot. So that's where we put all these little arms and stuff for now, but feel free to put them wherever you think is necessary, or if you're never gonna convert it, just take them out and keep the storage space. So it does go all the way to the nose of the cab, and it goes all the way across. So there's plenty of stuff that you can do right there. Your chairs are gonna be captain's chairs. So I have this one turned around right now, just so it's a little bit easier to demonstrate. So they do lock into place. One of the cool features that the Ram chassis offers is there's a little alarm on the dash if the chairs aren't locked in the forward position. So when we turn on the engine to go through some of the features up there, you'll hear it until I switch this back around. This one was optioned with an inflatable cab bed. So when these are turned forward, this is a little blow-up mattress that you can put up here for a small child. So you have the small dinette for a smaller person or a child, or you can put them up here in the cab. And then it also comes with window visors up here. So you put them up in the shades, they'll act as insulation up there, as well as providing more privacy. So, and if you ever lose them, damage or anything, they're just the standard Ram ProMaster shades. So I'm gonna set these here for now, for when we turn this chair back around. And get that out of the way. So when I start this up, there'll be a little alarm. Jody, if you want to come up here. So where the flashing light is for the doors open, there's also going to be a turnaround one. So then you also get the big one. Passenger seat unlocked, departure is not permitted, so it won't let you take it out of gear right now. So we'll turn it around, and this one. There we go. And I'll lean that back so you can get in here a little easier, Jody. So up here, you're gonna have the newer ProMaster chassis. So your adaptive cruise controls are gonna be on the right side of the steering, and all of your settings for the left side are gonna be up here, as well as your your voice commands and your talk and hang up. You do have automatic windshield wipers. You can adjust them and set them there. On the left side, you do have automatic headlights. You can adjust the brightness of your digital display up here. And then your shifter is right up here. So instead of, one of the nice things is you still get the shifter located here instead of like the Mercedes chassis and stuff where it's over here. And there's more feedback to this. You can put it in manual shift mode, especially like if you're towing or going down the mountain and stuff. You can use the transmission to help slow down the vehicle instead of having to ride the brakes the whole time. This is equipped with wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. I have my phone connected to it right now just to demonstrate that. You can get to a little bit more of the features on it, wherever that button's at, to get back to the main menu. So you can go through that. And when we put it in reverse, it'll switch to your camera so you can see up behind you. And then the other cool thing that they have up here is this one is equipped with the digital rear view mirror. So that mirror doesn't look down at the ground, it actually looks out and behind you. So the other camera is how you'll see if someone's riding your butt, and then this top one will let you see out in the distance. So you can actually see into people's windshields or into their cars if you wanted to. Let's see, last things are up here. You have lots of cup holders and lots of storage. Cup holders down below. You have a convenient spot for your phone, as well as a little cubby behind it. You do have an outlet up here, as well as 12 volt, and then also the ports that go into this if you don't use anything wireless or you just want to charge your phones up here. Cubby down here, your normal dash, a spot, and then you actually have one that's a little stiffer to open up there. So, a lot of safety features in the Ram ProMaster chassis. They've done pretty well for the newer ones, and yeah, it's the only ones that are front wheel drive instead of all wheel drive, and they've been building them for a long time, and they do have the more accessibility since they do smaller sizes. So if you would like some more information on the Winnebago Solis Pocket, feel free to contact me. My cell phone is 404-936-6215. If you like email, it's justin.rogers@transwest.com. This has been a great one. Let's go camping.